Imagine a group chat inside your head that you can't mute. Notifications keep popping up. Judgments, worries, replaying the past. It's endless. You desperately want a break, but the mind just keeps typing. This proves one undeniable fact: you are not the one doing the thinking. If you were, you could just turn it off. So, who is the mind actually talking to? The inner voice and its illusion. What we usually call the inner voice is simply the brain putting thoughts into words. It is the mind's way of organizing experience, planning, replaying events, and imagining outcomes. This voice feels intimate and personal, which is why we assume it belongs to a me inside. Think of it like an endless group chat running in the background. Messages keep popping up without being invited. Old conversations resurface, opinions get drafted, future scenarios are rehearsed, and judgments appear instantly. There is rarely silence unless something completely captures your attention. As long as the mind remains active, this stream continues on its own. It does not wait for permission. It keeps commenting on life, even when nothing needs to be said. And because this activity feels constant, we start believing that this voice is who we are, rather than something we are aware of. Is there a listener inside? We usually imagine there is a separate self, a permanent me inside, listening to thoughts and deciding what to do with them. It feels as though this inner voice is speaking to someone real. But when you actually look for this me, nothing solid is found. If you are not the mind, then who is the mind talking to? Thoughts appear one after another, and it can seem like one thought is responding to another. This creates the impression of an inner conversation. It is like an echo in an empty space. The sound seems to answer itself, yet no one is there. In the same way, the mind speaks and another thought follows, creating the illusion of a listener. The idea of a permanent me listening to thoughts is itself just another thought. The thinker and the thought arise together. The movie screen analogy. It is similar to watching a movie. On the screen, characters appear alive. They laugh, cry, struggle, and suffer. But when you look closely, there are only moving images of light and shadow. The characters feel real until you recognize the nature of the screen. In the same way, when you look deeply, the sense of me is not a solid entity. It is a collection of thoughts, memories, feelings, and sensations appearing in awareness. Thought creates the thinker. We believe there is a thinker behind thoughts, but in reality, thought creates the idea of a thinker. When a thought like, I should not feel this way appears, it immediately creates the idea that there is someone inside who is supposed to manage or control that feeling. The thought itself invents a controller. But if there were no thoughts at all, that sense of a controller or thinker would not exist either. This shows that the thinker is not separate from thoughts. There is no thinker without thought. They are inseparable. In deep observation, the observer and the observed collapse into one. The one watching the thought is not separate from the thought itself. This dissolves the illusion of duality. Why conflict persists? Because we believe in a separate me, life becomes an internal battlefield. I should change my thoughts. I must control my emotions. But when it is seen that there is no separate entity apart from thinking and perceiving, this inner conflict naturally ends. Freedom does not come from stopping thoughts, but from ending identification with the thought created self. Thoughts are like weather patterns appearing in the sky of awareness. They move, change, and pass. Person doing the thinking. We often believe a person is doing the thinking, perceiving, and acting. But in reality, thinking, perceiving, and acting are the person. There is no separate entity hidden inside this bundle. Suffering begins when thoughts and feelings rely on the belief that I am an independently existing self. Under this conditioning, struggle becomes unavoidable. Even in deep meditation, when thoughts temporarily subside, a subtle sense of me may still linger. What is that me? Is it real or is it just another reflection, like mistaking the image in a mirror for who you are? The storytelling mind. One moment there is joy, the next, a memory from the past, then a thought about an upcoming meeting, then tension in the neck. All of these are known and observed, but the mind is a skilled storyteller. It weaves these fragments into a continuous narrative called me. This identity feels stable, but when examined closely, it dissolves into passing experiences. There is no fixed self behind the story, only the story itself. What truly remains? Beneath all thoughts and emotions, something remains constant. A quiet witnessing presence in which everything appears and disappears. This awareness has no opinions, no desires, no personal agenda. It simply knows. The mind cannot truly grasp this because awareness is not a concept. It is the very ground that allows concepts to arise. Unable to leave it undefined, the mind turns awareness into a personal I, tying it to the body, thoughts, and emotions. This is where the error begins. Returning to what is prior to thought. Before any thought appears, before any feeling arises, there is a simple knowing that you exist. A basic sense of I am, untouched by labels or judgments. Everything else is added later by the mind. When attention shifts away from the mind's story of me and rests in this simple presence, clarity naturally arises. The search for the owner of thoughts ends, because no such owner is ever found. There are only thoughts appearing and disappearing in awareness. Freedom isn't about figuring out how to delete the group chat. In other words, freedom comes not from fixing the mind, but from seeing through the illusion of a separate self. When this is understood, the mind becomes quieter, not by force, but by insight. And in that seeing, the endless dialogue loses its grip. Let the notifications pile up. Let the mind argue with itself. Once you stop believing the messages are for you, the group chat loses its power. If you want to practice this, putting down the phone in real life, join us in the book club. Link in the description. And to help you detach from that mental noise right now, watch this video next.